Do you really understand what from process to pure food movement is really about? I haven't really touched much on it. I've been doing all the other videos talking about sugar, talking about salt, and all these things. But what is from process to pure food movement? What is it really about? Well, let me tell you, my name is Ed Logan. I want to welcome you here to From Process to Pure Food Movement. So, what this page has or this channel has been set up for is to help those who are struggling with overeating, chronic illnesses, people who are feeling hopeless because they feel like that they cannot change. And so I created this for people specifically like this, but it is built off of biblical principles. All right. So I haven't really gotten into that. And I felt like this was the perfect time, the perfect opportunity to be able to explain what this movement is about. This is a movement. It is going to move you from your processed self to your pure self. It's going to move you from processed food to pure food. It's going to move you from spending your dollars on ultra processed food to pure whole food. And we're going to be doing that a number of ways, but I felt like it was going to be very important today to help you understand why we do what we do here at From Process to Pure Food Movement. Okay, so there are some principles that we want to take a look at. Actually, there's a scripture that I would really like to use. And again, I hope I made it very clear at the beginning that we do use biblical principles here because it is the guiding light for this channel. Everything that I do, it is my standard. And so for those of you who have the Bible as your standard, this is going to be the place for you because that's where we get our information. That's where we get our understanding. That is where we get our wisdom from. So if we follow what the book says, this is what we're going to do. And why do I know that a lot of people are going to come here to this channel? It's just opened up. I just started it a couple of weeks ago. The reason I know that is because the Most High says that his sheep are going to hear his voice. So when we start speaking about the word of the Most High, his people are going to hear. Those who want to hear his word are going to want to come and listen because we're going to apply the word to how we eat. We're going to apply the word to how we live our lives. So let me show you just one scripture, 2 verses, and I'm going to show you why it's so important. Okay, so I'm going to go and I'm going to share my screen with you because I want you to see something that is really, I want to call this is the basis of what we do. This is why it is so important in doing what we are going to be doing. Okay, so let me read this to you, and I'll go back and read it in the King James as well for those of you who want to hear the King James. So it says in Romans chapter 12 in verse 1, I call upon you, therefore, brothers and sisters, through the compassion of Elohim, to present your bodies a living offering. King James will say a living sacrifice, set apart. King James is going to say holy, well-pleasing to Elohim, your reasonable worship. It says, and do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you prove what is that good and well-pleasing and perfect desire of Elohim. Okay, so now let's look at this in the King James, and I want to show you a couple of things that I really believe is pretty important and pretty significant in some of these words that we're using. So let's look at the King James. It says, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. Let's stick with this one for a second. So this verse is telling us that we should be presenting our bodies as a sacrifice to the Most High. He says that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy. Okay, so we saw in the other version, holy actually means set apart. So holy is not the whole group. Holy is a certain group in there. He pulls them out and sets them to the side. So if you were somewhere, maybe in a restaurant or somewhere, and everybody was in there drinking, cursing, using profanity, like just lewd behavior and everything, and you were the only one there, and you saw this, and you said, I can't be a part of this, and you got up and you left, you would be set apart. Why? Because you chose not to do what everyone else is doing. You chose to get up and leave because you know that that was not good company, and you know that the Most High would not approve of you even being in that environment or staying in that environment. So what did you do? You set yourself apart. You said, I cannot be a part of what everyone else here is doing. Okay, so that's basically what holiness is. It's you being set apart. So the Most High is setting you apart from the world. Okay, so let's think about this. Let's break this down just a little bit, okay? So if we are going to be holy and acceptable, which is our reasonable service to Him, then can we do what everyone else does? What we see the world do we have to do something different? Well, let's keep reading on down. And be not conformed to this world. Be not conformed. Okay, so let's get a real understanding what conform means. Let's go and look at it. Conform means, move this up just a little bit here for us so we can see it a little further. All right, now we can see it clearly. Okay, so conform is from the Greek word G4862 and a derivative of G4976. So this is where these words originate from. It means to fashion alike. That is, conform to the same pattern. Conform to, fashion, self according to. So we are not to fashion ourselves according to the world. Okay? Listen to what he's saying. We are to be something totally different. So we are not to conform to what we see. And it's very easy to do that. It's very easy to conform because we see what is going on around us. It says, be ye transformed. Okay, what does transform mean? All right, so transform. If you go down to the bottom of the page, it says to transform literally or figuratively, metamorphose. Okay, it means to change, transfigure, or transform. Okay, so when we grow up and we have the thinking of the world, when we really come to meet Him and know who He is, He's telling us, hey, don't be conformed to what the world does. So now that you know me, I want you to be transformed. Okay, so you see what he's saying. Now that you know me, be transformed. Come out of that. Be different from these people. All right, that's what transforming means. It means to change, to alter the normality that we see in the world. And let's keep going on down. It says, by the renewing. All right, well, let's look and see what renewing means. Renewing means renovation. Renewing. So let's think about a house. So let's just say you just purchased a house. You go into the house and it's old. It has all the common things in it of all the other houses that you see. It's old. A lot of it needs to be torn down. So what do? You go inside, you strip it, you take everything off the walls, you take everything out of the house. So when you walk into that house, all you see is the wood because everything has been taken out. The sinks, the toilets, the tubs, everything, kitchen sink, everything is gone. All you see is the framing of the house. Okay? So now when you renovate the house, you put all new stuff back in. The house looks totally different. See, that's what is supposed to take place in our minds. That's what the renewing of our mind means. So we're not thinking like we used to think. We're not thinking like the world thinks. We're doing what he says. By the renewing of your mind, and that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will or desire of God or Yahuwah. Okay? So let's go a little bit deeper because that in itself is powerful. That's deep. But from process to pure food movement. So what is it about this that we're talking about? What we are trying to do is to help transform people's minds about how we eat. Okay? So we see how the world eats. We see that. It's all around us. You look at the billboards outside. You look at all the fast food restaurants. We're all a part of that. Okay? I was a part of all of that. I supported it all. It didn't matter what it was. I ate it. Okay? So now with this new way of thinking, this transformation that is taking place, this renewing of my mind that is taking place, I've chosen to eat according to the Bible. And so since I've chosen to eat according to the Bible, I've had to transform my mind. Okay? So how am I going to just make all of this work together? Very easily. I'm going to go back to the other version, which I use all the time. I call upon you, therefore, brothers, through the compassion of Elohim, to present your bodies a living offering or a living sacrifice. Listen, if I was to have died last year before I began to alter and renew my thinking, my way of life, I would have been taking the master who gave me this vehicle that I'm in. I would have been taking this vehicle to him beat up. It would have dents in it. The paint would be rusted. The tires would have no tread on them. I mean, I misused the vehicle that he gave me. But now, since I have renewed my mind, I don't have those things. I've got new tires. I got a new paint job on it. I've totally tried to restore the vehicle that he's given me. And so that's what we're leaning towards. That's where we're trying to bring people to. We're wanting to help people present their bodies to the Most High as a living sacrifice. That's what our purpose is. And to us, that's very important. Set apart. Okay, we have to live a set apart, a holy life. And so if you're his and you follow the Bible, this is something that is set up for us to do. This isn't like something good to hear. No, this is a command. We should do this. This is how we should present ourselves. So how do we present our bodies to the Most High like that? Do we bring it to him defiled by the world's food? Do we bring it to him defiled by food that is not food? Or do we bring our bodies to him clean, whole, the way that he expects us to present it to him. It doesn't matter how we look at it. We are going to present our bodies to him. Let me get out of here so I can start seeing you all's face, or you can see my face. So it doesn't matter how we look at it. We're going to have to give him these bodies, or we're going to have to present it to him when we stand before him. And you know, it just breaks my heart to know that I could have been presenting him a body that was worn out, a body that had chronic illness, a body that was overweight. Look, this was all of my doing, all of my doing. So that's why for us, it is like vitally important to help those who love the Most High, who have given their lives to the Most High, or who is willing to give their lives to the Most High. It's of the utmost importance that we present our bodies to him as living sacrifices. This is what we're saying. We're saying, Father, thank you for giving me what you gave me. And what you gave me, I took care of it. I took care of it to the best of my abilities. And did I mess up sometimes? Of course I did. But you know that I lived as good as I could live. I fed your body. Everything that you grew from the ground that you knew nourished my body, that's what I began to feed it. See, that's renewing your mind. If we do what everybody else does, we eat what everyone else does. We eat the same way that everyone else does. The Bible has some really good specific information in it about eating. Some of them are tough. Some of them are really tough. But what we're trying to show you and what we're trying to teach is that there is a way that we live. There is a way that we eat, and we want to abide by what he says, what the word says, because you know why? Again, the sheep hear his voice. So we've just opened up a members club as well. And so the members club is a little bit different from my private group or even the page, because in the members club, we're able to go a little bit deeper. I mean, we go detailed into the things that affects our heart. We go detailed into things about what we're thinking, and we talk about those. And we also go into how do we bring our bodies back to full nourishment, how we bring it back and release some of those illnesses that we may have on us. We're going to be working on those things that can be reversed. Lots of things can be reversed, but there are some things more than likely that cannot be reversed. But we want to get our body in the best state possible. And we'll ask for forgiveness for what we have done as long as we have repented of how we have eaten. Okay, so that's really the nugget of what we are doing. We are trying to bring people who are believers, who do listen to the word, or though if you're not a believer, but you are willing to listen to the word, we're trying to bring us into proper guidance of what the word says. Because if we love our master, we're going to do exactly what he says. If we love our master, we're going to live exactly the way that he wants us to live. So why should you listen to From Process to Pure Food Movement? You should listen because we're going to be discussing what the master says. And hopefully we will be able to lead people from the processed food addiction to freedom. Hey, thank you all for listening. More videos are going to be coming out, but I felt like it was going to be just really good just to give some clarity to some of you all about what From Process to Pure Food Movement really is about. And it is a movement. Hey, I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.